The theme for this month is memory. So we're going to do memory meditations, meditations that really force you force you to recall things in as much detail as possible. Now, when I say that, I can probably already imagine there's some perfectionist parts of you coming up that are like, oh, how am I going to remember this thing and that thing? It has to be like a perfect scene. That's not what I'm doing here. All I'm asking you to do is remember everything you can as completely as you can. Remember what you can, leave what you can't. It's not meant to create feelings of anxiety. And if you notice that happening, maybe back off from some of the intensity around it a little bit to let yourself just be in that place of non-seeking perfection. So that's what we're going to do every month or every week this month with our meditations. And last thing I'll mention about it before we jump in is that this is kind of has kind of two uses. One, you'll remember things better in the past when you spend time sitting and thinking about it. The second thing is that as you ground into those moments, it creates this kind of second nature in your mind to be more present going forward. Because if you have to remember things in the future, past tense, you'll be more present throughout each moment. That's my goal for you. If none of that made sense, and I'm just rambling at this point, we'll just go ahead and get started. So sit comfortably. If you're in a chair, just uncross your legs. Have your feet on the floor. Again, if you're sitting in a chair, just sit up nice and tall. You can also relax into your chair if you'd like to. However that looks for you, just be comfortable. Letting your eyes close. And just arriving here in the present moment. Reminding yourself that you've set aside this time today to not have to think about anything, to not have to do anything. The urgencies and obligations of your life can still exist here. Just none of that will get done right now. It doesn't have to get done right now. So with your eyes closed, I'd like you to picture the space around you in as much detail as possible. Where are you? The walls, the furniture, the objects in the space around you. And don't worry about it being perfect. Just remember what you can about the space around you, the lighting, the colors, your proximity to the objects in your space. Of course, you exist in this space. Make sure you're looping yourself into that awareness. And we'll zoom in on yourself, noticing the connection your body makes to the floor, your chair, your cushion, whatever you're sitting on. Feeling on the skin, clothing, the temperature of the air, other body parts. Aware of feelings and sensations beneath the skin, inside of your body, the parts that move, your lungs, your heart, the circulatory and digestive systems. Noticing comfort in the body, noticing discomfort in the body, not making meaning of it or trying to solve anything, just aware of the current state of your body. aware of the breath moving in your body. Maybe it's a big breath, maybe it's a smaller breath. Noticing how you feel energetically in this moment. Some options could include tired, exhausted, burned out, depressed, restless, hyper, anxious, calm, steady, grounded, peaceful. Maybe a paradoxical blend of these. How do you feel energetically? What feelings and emotions are present for you right now? Not judging that state, but just aware of it. What emotions are present for you, if any? And what thoughts are present as well? What is the rumination that's happening? Again, not judging it, but just being aware of your entire system in the present moment, body, energy, mind, space around you. And to help strengthen that sense of presence, will help the mind to focus through the use of the breath. So becoming aware of the breath again, inhale and exhale. We'll begin to even the breath out, making the length of your inhale and exhale the same. And you can achieve that by counting the breath, inhaling for a certain number of counts and exhaling for an equal number of counts. And a count is whatever you use to measure internally. An estimated second, the sound of a word or syllable, just do your best. Inhaling for a certain number of counts and exhaling for an equal number of counts. It's good to note here as well, this doesn't have to be your deepest breath. It's okay if it's easy, make sure that it's manageable. Inhaling for a certain number of counts and exhaling for an equal number of counts. Now, especially here, your mind may wander. If that happens, notice that it has. And without judgment, just bring it back. Even inhale and even exhale. And then keeping the breath nice and even. At the top of your next inhale, hold your breath in for 2 counts. Just 2 counts. And at the bottom of your next even exhale, hold the breath out for 2 counts. Breathing evenly, holding the breath in for 2 counts and holding the breath out for 2 counts. And if you start to notice that holding the breath makes you feel anxious, just don't hold the breath. Just keep it even. Continuing for another minute or so. You're going to take your time getting there, but as you complete this next hold after exhale, you can let go of the technique and be aware of the breath as it adjusts to its now normal state. And I'd like you to now remember the moment right before you fell asleep last night. The last coherent awareness you had before you fell asleep last night. Where were you? What room were you in? Was anyone with you? Was it dark? Was there a light? That moment before you fell asleep. What was the feeling on and in your body? Were there any sounds, smells, or lingering tastes? How did you feel energetically in that moment before you fell asleep last night? Were any emotions present? Were any thoughts present? Try to solidify the scene in as much detail as you can, remembering what you can, being okay with what you can't remember. And once you have that image, that embodied feeling as clearly manifested as possible, I'd like you to go back in time 1 hour from that point. So 1 hour before you fell asleep last night. And it might take some guessing to think about what exact moment that was, but find a moment, an hour before you fell asleep last night. Where were you? What were you doing? What was going on around you? Were you alone? Were there other people? What were you feeling in that moment? in your body? What were you feeling emotionally? What sounds, smells, and tastes can you remember? That moment 1 hour before you fell asleep last night. And what thoughts were present in that moment? Remembering what you can, being okay with what you can't. And once you have that scene solidified, go back in time another hour. And once that scene is solidified, go back in time another hour. Taking as much time as you need to remember as much as you can from each of these moments. Where were you? What were you doing? What was going on around you? Was there anyone else there? What thoughts and feelings were there? What were you feeling in your body? Drawing on other sensory information, sound, smell, taste. Take your time with this, but when you have each scene solidified, keep going back in time again and again. What were you thinking in that moment? What were you feeling in that moment? Once that feels clear, going back in time another hour. As you get deeper into this practice, your mind might wander. That's okay. Bring it back to whatever the last memory that we were trying to recall was, and just continue the work. What were you hearing? What were you feeling? What did you see? And then finish recalling the scene that you are working on right now. And once it's as fully developed as you can recall, stay there for a moment. As if you were right there again, right now. but you are not there. That was in the past. Instead, you are here in the present moment. Your eyes remaining closed. Picture the space around you in as much detail as you can recall. The lighting, the colors, your relationship to the objects and space around you. Noticing what you are feeling. Noticing what you are hearing. If there's any smells or tastes present. Any diffused light coming in through the eyelids. The emotions and thoughts that are here with you in this moment. And feel a sense of satisfaction for what you were able to recall, to whatever capacity that was for you today. Be satisfied with it. It was enough. And letting this sense of presence continue to stay with you as you move back out into your world. Allowing your breath to deepen. Go ahead and bring your palms together and rub them together, creating heat between them. And take the heated palms over your eyes. And then brush back over the top of your head, down the neck, bringing yourself gently back to the space around you.